everyone, Steven from Straight Fire Picks. The 2022 NBA season is here. We got our best bets for NBA here on Wednesday, October 19th, 2022. We're going to have NBA player prop spreads, over-unders here for you today. We're going to have 5 picks that I think are great value bets for this Wednesday NBA slate. As always, just want to thank you all for your continued support here on the channel. If you're new to the channel here today, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Reminder here at the channel, guys, that we are partnered with Prize Picks, so be sure to use our code SFP for a 100% deposit match and your first deposit up to $100 on Prize Picks. You can also use one of our links that we have down below in the comment section and the description. Really is a great app, guys. It specializes in player props and things of that nature. You can put multiple picks into an entry to win a lot of money, and it really is a lot of fun to use. So like I said, use our code SFP for a 100% deposit match or one of our links that we have down below. Also, be sure to check out our community Discord page as well. There'll be a link in the comment section and the description for that. Be sure to also drop your favorite pick for today's action down below in the comment section. If you like a pick included in our comment capper section, just be sure to put a star or an asterisk next to your pick, and we'll include your pick in the video if it hits. Okay, now it's time for a shout out to our Straight Fire MVPs. So as always, guys, you see this beautiful list here running beside me of all of our Straight Fire MVPs. If you're interested in becoming a Straight Fire MVP, there's a join button down below. We'll also have a link down below in the comment section and the description for that. It's just $3.99 per month. You get access to our picks early. So basically, whenever I'm done with the notes, I post them up early in the community tab for our MVPs. You also get a badge next to your name, some custom emojis, roll color in the Discord, and shout outs in our videos. And it is just a great way to support the channel and what we do here at the channel. I appreciate all of you guys. I really do, whether you do that or not. I appreciate all the support you guys have given from day one. We're going back to our roots here with the NBA, guys. I'm super excited about this. This is where we got a lot of traction on this channel. So really excited to dive into the NBA season this year. Really looking forward to having a great year. We had a really good year last year. Good run in the finals. Had a lot of fun capping the NBA finals, and it was just a great time. You guys absolutely rock. I really do appreciate all you guys. You guys are the best. We're going to get after it. Like I said, we're going to have 5 picks. Usually, try to have about that many, except for probably like on Thursdays, because there's only a couple games on Thursdays. But we're going to get after it, guys. Trying to think if I have anything else for you here. I'm just so pumped to get into the season, guys. I'm so pumped for this. Are you guys ready? We're ready. Normally, I would have a recap section going on now, but obviously, we're just getting started. So let's get started, guys. Let's get right into our picks today. Let's get this 5-0 sweep. So getting right into our picks here at number 1. We are going with the Denver Nuggets, minus 7.5 spread here versus the Utah Jazz. Minus 110 odds here on FanDuel. So I absolutely love this play, guys. Simply put, the Utah Jazz are not the Utah Jazz anymore, right? No more Donovan Mitchell, no Rudy Gobert, no Bogdanovich, and also their head coach, Quinn Snyder, is also out. So obviously, that's a very big deal. Rebuilding here for the Jazz. I think they're going to have a really hard time in this game, especially against the Nuggets team that's actually getting healthier from last year. They're going to be getting Jamal Murray back, Michael Porter Jr., so that's obviously huge here for the Nuggets. And they also added a guy that I really liked last year in the Nets, and Bruce Brown. I think he'll give them great minutes as well. He was a very productive player for the Nets, so I think that would be a great addition here for the Nuggets. I think they're going to honestly have a really solid season. Looking for the Nuggets to take a big step up with all these guys coming back, as long as they can stay healthy, obviously. Now, in this series, the Jazz have dominated the series, right? They've won the last 5 games versus the Nuggets, but that is about to change. Obviously, the talent disparity between these two teams is crazy. Jokic pretty much takes care of that on his own, right? There's no one like Nikola Jokic on the Utah Jazz. The Nuggets have Jokic, Murray, Porter Jr., even Aaron Gordon. They have a lot of talent there on the Nuggets that could get it done here. And I think, like I said, this is the year they take a big step up. Jazz actually, in general, last year as a home spread team, they were not very good. They did not actually perform all that well at home last year. 17-25-2 as a home spread team last year. That's not very good. Nuggets were actually pretty solid on the road at 23-21 against the spread. So overall, that's pretty solid. I think here, like I said, the biggest thing is the talent disparity. I think the books are kind of undervaluing the Nuggets here in this game. I know Utah can be a tough place to play, or it has been in the past, but in this scenario, I just don't see it. Just too many changes here for the Jazz, guys. In the preseason, Jazz were 1-3. Average margin of defeat in their losses was 17.6 points. So they got blown out in the preseason as well. preseason, you take what you see with a grain of salt, but you also kind of get an idea of what you're going to be getting too. And honestly, I think that's indicative of their season. I think they're going to have a rough season. Nuggets were 3-2. They had a really tough schedule actually in the preseason. They played a lot of good teams. They actually beat the Warriors in the preseason. So I think I'm pretty high on the Nuggets coming in here, guys. They're 7th in the NBA power rankings right now. Jazz are 28. So that kind of gives you an idea where these teams are at. So do love there for our number 1 pick, though. We're going Denver Nuggets, -7.5 spread here versus the Utah Jazz. -110 odds here on FanDuel. Okay, and at number 2, we are going with the under 230.5 points here in the Pelicans-Nets game. -107 odds here on PointsBet. So, guys, both these teams getting some key pieces into their lineup. Obviously, with Ben Simmons here joining the Nets lineup and Zion Williamson. So, I think what that could cause some chemistry issues on the offensive side. Especially for the Nets, adding Ben Simmons in with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And Simmons is actually a pretty good defender, too. So, I think that's going to be a big upgrade for them as far as defensively speaking. But also, it could mess with them a little bit offensively. They got to get used to each other and how they're going to run their offense. So, looking for 2 offenses that are going to look to find themselves. Same thing here with Zion Williamson. He's going to add a whole new wrinkle to the Pelicans as well. He's obviously a great rim protector, very athletic. He can play some defense as well. But again, how are they going to manage his touches in with Brandon Ingram, McCollum, Valanciunas? It's going to be interesting to see. So I think we could see these 2 teams struggle a little bit offensively. But more than anything, I think, I'm more excited to see how these teams play defensively. His defenses weren't ranked all that high last year, although the Pelicans kind of started to come on later on in the season. Nets were 17th in defensive efficiency last year. Pelicans were 20th in defensive efficiency, so both technically in the back half, but I think both these teams defensively will take a step up. I think if you're the Nets, I think that's the biggest thing to focus on for the Nets this year. How are you going to win a championship in Brooklyn if you're Steve Nash? Your defense has to be good. That's the focus you got to get down. Your team's getting older. You got a bunch of vets. You got to start playing some defense. That's the biggest thing. We know the Nets could score, but I think you'll see them take a big step up this season defensively. That's really what I'm watching there on them. And as far as pace goes, getting up and down the court, both these teams weren't like in the top 10 as far as pace. Nets were 11th last year in pace. Pelicans 21st in pace. So for a total this high up in the 230s, I don't think, that represents what that total should be. I think the total should be more in the lower 220s to me, or mid 220s maybe, but 230.5 is just too high. That's why I'm really liking the under. We saw Nets games go under in 3 out of 4 preseason games, so obviously we like to see, like I said, take the preseason with a grain of salt. Pelicans games, though, went under in 3 out of 5 preseason games, which is also pretty solid as well. Both these teams also did play more to the under last year, so Pelicans games were actually second best in the NBA to the under at 52-38. Nets were 44-42-1 to the under last year. So overall, I like those trends. I think we could see that again here in Brooklyn, especially opening day. Could see these offenses get off to a slow start, some chemistry issues. Look for Simmons to take a step up here on defense, though, with the Nets. I think it will help them out. So love it there for our number 2 pick. We're going under 230.5 points here in the Pelicans-Nets game. -107 odds on PointsBet. Okay, and at number 3, we are rolling with DeJounte Murray. Over 1.5 threes made here for the Atlanta Hawks. -115 here on FanDuel. I absolutely love this bet, guys. I'm excited to see this Atlanta offense with DeJounte Murray and Trae Young in the backcourt. I think it's going to be really exciting. But taking on a Rockets team here, Atlanta that really doesn't play great defense, or hasn't anyway. So I still think they could be a little bit, the maturity factor. You got Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., extremely young guys. They're very talented offensively, but I'm curious to see what they do defensively. I don't know if they're going to take a big leap up defensively. Didn't see it last year, that's for sure. Rockets allowed the 9th most three-pointers made last year. They were also 29th in defensive efficiency overall last year. And a lot of times last year, you saw a lack of effort with the Rockets. I talked about that last year. But I think here, I don't know if it'll be lack of effort. I just think, this will be a high-paced game. There'll be a lot of points. The over-under is set to, believe, 233.5. So we'll see a lot of points here. I think Murray here, he's switching teams from a San Antonio Spurs team where he was very ball dominant. Ran the point guard position, had the ball in his hands a lot. It's going to change a little bit for him here this year. He's going to be going over to shooting guard. He'll still be handling the ball a good bit, but obviously he'll have it in his hands less. So that could mean him standing out in the perimeter, catching passes from Trae Young for three-pointers. So I could see him shooting more threes this year. And his line has been 1.5 since he was back with the Spurs. So I think we're getting good value and a good matchup here. And really towards the end of last year, he started shooting the three actually pretty well. He's 6 out of 8 to this line in his last 8 regular season games. And he's actually carried that over in this year's preseason, cashing in 2 out of 3 preseason games, shooting the ball 5 out of 11 from three-point range in this preseason, 45%. Those last 8 games I talked about in the regular season last year, shot 42% during that stretch. So love to see that. If he could shoot over 40% in this game, I think he'll get at least 5, 6, maybe even 7 three-point attempts this game. I think we'll have a great shot to cash. And obviously, his jumper is looking better, which is something obviously he needed to work on, and he's getting better on that. And like I said, I think we could see Murray shoot the ball a little bit more with Trae Young here running the point. Hawks also in general shoot more threes than the San Antonio Spurs did. Murray's old team. Hawks were 18th in three-point attempts in general last year. Murray's old team, the Spurs, was 24th. So we can see the Hawks put up more threes here. It obviously makes sense there with Trae Young and now Murray, who can also show more ability here to shoot the three. So do love it there, guys, for number 3 pick. We're going to DeJounte Murray. Over 1.5 threes made here for the Atlanta Hawks. Minus 115 odds on FanDuel. Okay, and at number 4, we are going with Darius Garland. Under 20.5 points here for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Minus 105 odds here on DraftKings. Guys, I absolutely love this. I think this is actually a pretty solid defensive matchup here between the Cavaliers and the Raptors. Garland has hit this under in 8 out of his last 10 games versus the Toronto Raptors. His highest total in those 10 games was 22 points. So even when he hit the over, he just barely got it. And here, the Raptors are returning all 5 of their starters. So obviously they're going to be a very good defensive team again this year. They're very tough and physical. Led by Van Vliet, Gary Trent Jr., Anunoby, Siakam, Scotty Barnes. They all play pretty good defense. Especially on the perimeter, though, the Raptors were particularly good. They were very good versus guards. 2nd in points allowed to point guards. 5th in points allowed to shooting guards. So they're very good on the perimeter, obviously, which we like to see that. And I think Garland could have a tough time again. And really, he doesn't have to be the guy as much, right? They brought over Donovan Mitchell from the Jazz. So that's going to take away some of his volume as well. And the Cavs, if you really look at their bench and their starters, they're still pretty deep. They still got the 2 bigs there, Mobley and Allen. They still got guys off the bench like Stevens and, guys that can produce off the bench. They still got Kevin Love off the bench. So they're still pretty deep here in Cleveland. I think this team's going to be pretty good too. And honestly, I don't think Garland's going to need to hit it as hard. And honestly, I could see him playing less minutes than he did towards the end of last year when he was cashing this line with ease. 9 out of his last 16 regular season games last year, he played 40-plus minutes. So he was racking up the minutes. I think here we could see him more in the 32 to 35-minute range. Reasons for that is just simply they're a little bit deeper with adding Donovan Mitchell. And also, with it being early on in the season, I don't see, the Cavs obviously overworking their players. So I don't see a heavy minute count really for anybody. So that's why I see Garland playing closer to the 32 to 35 minute range. And I just like the matchup too. I think honestly it's going to be more of a defensive game. Kind of like the under in this game as well. So do love it there, guys, for number 4 pick. We're going Darius Garland under 20.5 points here for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Minus 105 odds on DraftKings. Okay, and finally at number 5, we're rolling with Julius Randle under 21.5 points here for the New York Knicks. Minus 115 odds here on DraftKings. So some books have this at 20.5, which I think is still fine. Look for your best value. Though right now, DraftKings, like I said, minus 115 for 21.5. We'll take that and buy a little bit of extra juice. I believe it's under 20.5 on FanDuel for like minus 106. So I'll pay a little bit more juice here to get the extra point. I think it is worth it. But Julius Randle here, guys, so far 4 out of 4 to the under in the preseason. I think it's apparent just from looking at the Knicks. Really wasn't all that close to hitting the line either. But the early look out of the Knicks, they don't need Randle to score as much as he used to anymore, right? With the addition there of Jalen Brunson, the emergence of R.J. Barrett now, they just don't need Randle to do all that he used to do. Obviously, Randle's very capable. He could put up 20-plus on any night. But he's a guy that I could see kind of, losing some of his touches here in this offense with the addition of Brunson. He's kind of, I think, going to be the odd guy out, of that 3-headed, if you want to call it a 3-headed monster there with, Randle, Barrett, and Brunson. That's not really a 3-headed monster. But of those 3, I think Randle's going to lose some touches here. And he is actually under in 3 out of his last 5 games here versus the Grizzlies. And Grizzlies are a pretty solid defensive team overall. They were 7th best in points allowed to power forwards last year. Now, we do know that Jaren Jackson's out here for the Grizzlies, their power forward. But the replacement, Santi Aldama, goes 6'11" and has showed great ability so far to defend the rim, averaging 1.2 blocks per game in the preseason. So, pretty solid overall. I think Santi could play a little bit of defense here. Honestly, I think the biggest thing I'm looking at here, though, is the impact of Jalen Brunson. And like I said, with load management going to be what it's going to be early on in the season, I don't think we'll see heavy minutes from Randall either. You know, he might get, again, 32 to 35 minutes is what I'm expecting. And if that's the case, I just don't see Randall scoring that much. I think they have better options. Obviously with Brunson and Barrett, I think they'll take more of the scoring load. And like I said, Grizzlies overall, just defensively overall, they had pieces going in and out of the lineup all year, but they were 3rd in defensive efficiency last year. So they play very good on the defensive side. That's what I'm looking for here for our number 5 pick, guys. Love it there. We're going Julius Randle, under 21.5 points here for the New York Knicks, minus 115 odds on DraftKings. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for our picks. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. NBA videos will be running Wednesday, Thursday, Friday here at the channel. Super excited about it, guys. You guys absolutely rock. I appreciate all of your guys' support. Really have a lot of fun doing these videos. It really is like Christmas for me, the start of the NBA season. That's kind of where we got, a lot of our traction. I just love the NBA. I really do. I'm super excited about it. I think we're going to see a lot of cool things this year. A lot of interesting narratives play out. Like, how good are the Pistons going to be? The Nuggets, we talked about the Denver Nuggets. I think they could take a big leap up this year. It's going to be interesting. The Cleveland Cavaliers, are they ready to take a leap up into that, finals territory? Could they get there? Looks like they got the talent. We'll see how it plays out, but I'll be looking to play them on the spread again this year. But do love it, guys. Appreciate y'all. Let's have a great season. Let's have a great day today. Let's start with a 5-0. That would be great. Let's bust out the brooms. Appreciate y'all as always. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you next time. Peace out.